Raider Nation, what's up? Welcome back to your go-to spot for everything silver and black. I'm your host, and today we've got something big to talk about. Something that just went down in the NFL might crack open the door for the Raiders to make a surprising move. Now hear me out. What if the Raiders actually considered trading Zamir White? Yeah, that's a bold thought, but this new twist makes it worth asking. Before we dive deeper into this hot topic, take a second. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and smash that bell icon so you never miss breaking Raiders updates. Alright, let's get into it. Here's the headline. The Carolina Panthers just released jadeveon Clowney, a player who still has gas left in the tank, racking up 5.5 sacks last season. The moment this happened, I asked myself, does this fit the Raiders' puzzle? Clowney's not the same guy he was when he entered the league, but over the last 2 seasons, he's posted a solid 15 sacks. That's production the Raiders' defense could use, especially if they want to stack up next to Max Crosby and turn the pressure up on opposing QBs. Now I'm throwing the question to you. Should the Raiders take a shot at signing Clowney? If you're all in, drop a sign in the comments. If you're not feeling it, type pass. From my perspective, if the price is right, say $4 to $5 million with some smart incentives, I think it's worth exploring, but only if he's hungry to contribute. Raiders can't afford dead weight, especially not on defense. Look, we all get caught up in sack numbers when we talk about edge rushers. And yeah, jadeveon Clowney has never hit double digits in that category. But here's the truth. Sacks don't tell the whole story. Clowney might not be the elite pass rusher people hoped for when he went number 1 overall, but he's still a tough, physical defender who makes an impact. Just last season, with the struggling Carolina Panthers, he racked up 46 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 9 tackles for loss. That's not flashy, but it's solid, and he did it on one of the worst teams in the league. Now, why does this matter for the Raiders? Because this team doesn't want to wait around. They're not here to rebuild for years. They want to win now. Clowney brings veteran experience and consistency, especially in stopping the run. He's not going to cost a fortune either. If you can get him on a team-friendly deal with some performance incentives, that's a smart move. Here's something else to consider. Last offseason, the Raiders put effort into developing young talent, like K'Lavon Chaisson, who was once written off as a bust. With the right coaching, he turned in a season with 5 sacks and over 30 tackles. Not bad at all. Now think, Rob Leonard is still on this coaching staff. Patrick Graham's still leading the defense. If they could unlock Chaisson's potential, what could they do with a proven player like Clowney? It's not just about who Clowney was. It's about who he could be in the right system. One that's already shown it can get results from underperforming talent. Here's the truth. Coaching matters. And when it comes to Rob Leonard, I believe the Raiders have someone who can bring out the best in any defender. That's one of the key reasons I'd consider giving jadeveon Clowney a shot in silver and black. But let's go deeper. In the NFL, relationships are everything. You've seen it all off-season. Players signing because of past coaching ties, trusted systems, or shared experiences. And here's something worth noting. Clowney played under Pete Carroll in Seattle back in 2019. And that year, he didn't just show up, he made noise. He racked up 31 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and even scored 2 defensive touchdowns, a pick 6 and a fumble return. His impact wasn't just on paper either. According to PFF, that year he earned one of the best grades of his career. Overall, 87.3 run defense, 80.8 pass, rush 79.1. That version of Clowney was disruptive, tough, and a leader. If the Raiders can tap back into that version, even just part of it, it could be a game changer. Now, let's talk strategy, because it's not just about talent, it's about timing. The Raiders are in a strong financial position, sitting on around $36 million in cap space, top 5 in the league. Yes, some of that needs to go toward key extensions like Colton Miller and Jakobi Meyers. No question, they're priorities. But if there's still room left and there's a hole on defense that needs plugging, you go out and fill it, especially when that hole lines up with what Clowney does best, holding the edge, stopping the run, and occasionally collapsing the pocket. Let's not forget, this offseason the Raiders were actively hunting for outside linebackers. Reports were flying about their interest in guys like Jalen Walker. So, if the need is there, and the money's there, what's stopping you? And here's one more reason that might seal the deal. Competition. You bring in Clowney, and suddenly Tyree Wilson has real pressure to elevate his game. Sometimes nothing fuels growth like someone breathing down your neck for your spot. This isn't about replacing Wilson, it's about sharpening him. Iron sharpens iron. And if you want a team that plays with fire, you bring in guys who challenge each other to be great. Let's be real, Tyree Wilson knows the pressure is on. Year 3 is the turning point, and he's running out of time to prove why he was picked 7th overall. Here's what makes the Clowney conversation more interesting. When Wilson was coming out of college, he reminded people of Clowney. Both are long, athletic, and physically gifted edge rushers who flash greatness when they're locked in. That's why bringing in someone like Jadeveon Clowney isn't just about adding another player to the roster, it's about mentorship. Imagine Clowney walking into the locker room, pulling Wilson aside and saying, "Here's what helped me get through my toughest seasons." That kind of leadership, you can't put a price on it. And if that's what finally helps the light switch flip for Wilson, if this is the year he starts playing like a top 10 pick, then the entire Raiders defense could take a huge leap. We're talking about the kind of leap that puts this unit in the conversation with the best defenses in the league. Let's look at it as more than just a contract. You're not just paying $4 or $5 million for what Clowney brings to the field. You're investing in what he could unlock in Tyree Wilson. And that might be one of the smartest moves the Raiders could make all offseason. Let's talk about something that could shake up the Raiders' running back room, a potential trade involving Zamir White. Here's the deal. The Carolina Panthers just got hit with a brutal blow. Their young running back Jonathan Brooks, a top talent out of Texas, is expected to miss the entire 2025 season due to an ACL injury. Suddenly, Carolina's backfield is thinner than expected, and they may be looking for reinforcements. Now, here's where it gets interesting for Las Vegas. Zamir White, nicknamed Zeus, might quietly be the odd man out in this Raiders offense. With the team selecting Ashton Jeanty in the draft and clearly shifting toward a new offensive identity, it's becoming harder to imagine a scenario where White gets meaningful touches in 2025. This isn't about a lack of talent. It's about fit and opportunity. White is entering a contract year, and unless there's a dramatic change in the depth chart, he's unlikely to see the field much. That's frustrating for any player, but especially for someone who still has something to prove in the league. Now consider this. White grew up just a couple hours from Bank of America Stadium, home of the Panthers. That's his backyard. A trade to Carolina would mean not just a chance to carry the ball again, but a chance to do it at home, close to his roots, close to what matters most to him. And anyone who knows Zamir knows how much his horses, his ranch, and his hometown mean to him. If you're in the Raiders' front office right now, this is the time to make the call. Not out of desperation, but strategy. Give White a shot to start fresh while Las Vegas continues building a roster that matches its long-term vision. Because if both sides benefit from a clean break, why wait? Sometimes football decisions aren't just about X's and O's. They're about people. And when it comes to Zamir White, the most logical next move for both him and the Las Vegas Raiders is a respectful, clean break. White spends every offseason just 2 hours from Charlotte, his hometown. It's where he grew up, where he played high school football, and where his roots still run deep. Trading him to Carolina wouldn't just make football sense. It would feel right on a personal level too. Let's be honest, White isn't going to get many touches this year. With the Raiders drafting Ashton Jeanty and shifting their offense, White's path to playing time is nearly blocked. Keeping him around just to ride the bench serves no one. Not him, not the team. So here's a simple, no-nonsense move. Trade him for a 7th-round pick. That clears $1.1 million off the books. And with that money, the Raiders could redirect resources toward adding a defensive piece, like a veteran edge rusher. someone who could actually make an impact on the field this season. And think about it. If Zamir White ends up seeing real snaps in 2025, it likely means something has gone terribly wrong. So instead of holding on to that uncertainty, move forward decisively. Don't let it turn into another drawn-out running back storyline like we saw with Josh Jacobs. This is how a smart front office works. It honors the player, improves the roster, and avoids future drama. Sometimes the best way to move forward is to let go.